If you're watching this, I presume you fall into the category of what I call an uncommon lawyer. And I don't say that to flatter you or start some philosophical debate over who's common and who isn't common. I'm talking about a very specific context, which is that if you're watching this, you are actually taking seriously your own happiness, which not many lawyers do. And I have discovered through my relatively long life and all the things that I've done that lawyers are actually allergic to happiness. And I know that's a bold statement, but I'm a credible witness to make that statement. And in one way, I can look back and say my entire life has been kind of a research project into lawyer happiness or unhappiness. And it doesn't mean when the doctor smacked my butt 72 plus years ago in St. Margaret's Hospital in Pittsburgh, first words out of my mouth was, I wonder why lawyers aren't as happy as they could be. But when I look at the milestones in my life, I realize, yes, this is what my life, in one sense, has been about. I started my law practice. I was 25 years old in a small, corrupt West Virginia town, no money, rags to riches story, whatever you want to call it. And I was very determined to become a successful lawyer. I threw myself into it. And I was able to retire 15 years later, before the age of 40, financially secure in my health and integrity impact. I happened to be in West Virginia because I was living with and under the auspice of a very demanding, crazy wisdom American Zen master. And I was on a devout, very austere spiritual path because I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be happy in this life, and I wanted to be happy whatever higher realms might be awaiting me. After I sold my practice, I went on to become an entrepreneur, and I started a software company, which we were fortunate to sell right before the tech market crashed. And I also became a mentor, mentored a lot of college students, and then I started mentoring professionals, and had been doing that for the last 30 plus years. It's only recently that I started to work with lawyers in a very targeted way. And the last 4 months have been a real culmination of my research project. I have been in email contact with thousands of lawyers. I've spoken to hundreds of lawyers and webinars and phone calls and clients. I discovered the problem isn't that our profession is just so stressful. Look, I have worked with physicians. I've worked with dentists. I've worked with CEOs, entrepreneurs. I've worked with people in the mainstream, out of the mainstream. I've worked with a woman who makes her living putting people into ice baths. I've worked with all kinds of people in all kinds of stressful situations. There's something very specific about the lawyers. And it's not situational, it's dispositional. And what I mean is, yes, there's a lot of potential things that can compromise and challenge our happiness in the law practice. So what have I discovered through all the lawyers that I've been working through my life, and especially most recently? They're interested, they're intrigued, they stay in contact with me, they want to know what I have to say, they want to talk to me. And many of them raise their hand and then take their hand down just when they sense it might actually happen. So I say that our allergy to happiness is dispositional and not situational, because I know where the pain points are. I know what people raise their hands for. I know why people come to webinars. I know why they hire me. They feel like imposters. They know they're too hard on themselves. They second guess themselves all the time. They don't trust their own hearts. They know on some level maybe it's time to get out of the practice or change the practice, and they don't do it. So it's something internal. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen from within, meaning it's going to be us. It's going to be the wisdom of the crowd. It's going to be us developing a herd immunity to this allergy that we have to happiness. And there's a number of ways that I'm going to help shepherd this process. I have the Uncommon Lawyer podcast, and I've had some phenomenal guests. These are people that have come out on the other side of happiness and fulfillment, peace of mind, equanimity, and purpose. And either because they have some quality in themselves that didn't allow them to just fall into the shared suffering, the commonality that we have is a shared suffering as lawyers. We all agree, yeah, we all suffer together. That's our bond. And or there's something in life that has just forced them out of that commonality. It's required them to find a different way. And I'm not presenting these as you should follow them. No, they're just case studies so that you in turn can find your individual uncommonality that's going to enable you to overcome your allergy to happiness. And so you'll have a chance to listen to podcasts and get some of the snippets out of those podcasts, and also to meet with the podcast guests in some forum. We're still kind of experimenting on what that forum is going to be. All of our guests will make themselves available so you can pick their brain, share your stories, and look for the commonalities. They're all grateful for where they've ended up and very receptive to sharing their wisdom, their experiences with others. And the other thing is that I am starting a closed Facebook group, the Uncommon Lawyer, and it's going to be an opportunity for lawyers to come together and share their experiences, talk, whatever. So what I'm inviting you to do, or suggest you do, as the lawyers say, is that you no longer blame the rigors of the practice for the gap between what you know to be possible in terms of your happiness, fulfillment, and what your actual life experience is. Have an open mind and say, wow, maybe I don't want to be happy. Or if happiness comes to me, I'm going to push it away. Or if happiness actually lands on me, I'm going to just, get rid of it as soon as I can. Whatever it is, just leave space for the possibility. Yes, I, as an attorney, have a certain allergy to happiness, a certain resistance to it, lack of belief that it's actually possible or that I'm deserving of it. Just leave space that that's possible. And then just join with us. Let's share our stories. Let's find out what it is. I continue to work with lawyers on a regular basis. It's one of the things that sets my heart afire is to be able to help lawyers come to the other side. And we're forming a cohort of the lawyers, my clients, who are coming together to share their experiences and to scale them in a way as well. You can subscribe to the podcast. There'll be information here in the show notes. And also, join the Facebook group. And if this strikes your fancy, I'm here. Reach out to me. This is what I do because I love to do it. I'm fairly good at it. And whether I assist lawyers by connecting with other lawyers who have stories to tell, or they can tell their own stories, whether I work directly with them, it doesn't matter. The thing is, let's stop the gratuitous suffering. Let's find more to have in common with our colleagues than our shared suffering. Let's have our shared victories as well.